Hello students, today we will discuss an important chapter like in science we call it optics, which include the ray diagrams, all the ray optics, what are the characteristics of light at the level of class 6 to 10th. Because this chapter is very important and it begins from the class 6, so we will make our basics strong. So I will introduce this topic at the level of class 6 and gradually we will proceed for the class 10. This is the part 1. So let's see what is light. Light is a form of energy which makes the thing visible or which help us to see the things. Okay. On the basis of emission of light, there are two types of objects, luminous object and non-luminous objects. So the luminous, let's see, objects can be, what is the criteria? Emission of light. Emission of light. One, it is luminous object, and the second, it is non-luminous object. If any objects gives or emits light by their own, then it is known as luminous object, like sun. So they emit light by their own. But the non-luminous objects are those objects which we can see only in presence of light. They don't emit light. In the dark, that objects are not visible. We can see them only in presence of light. Like this is a marker. We can see it in this light. But when there is total dark, then we can't see. Even our body is also non-luminous. We can't see this. So these objects are come under the non-luminous objects. Okay, it was the first criteria. Then on the basis of the second criteria, which is the object, how much it will allow the light to pass through it. Okay. Then the quantity of light. The quantity of light it allowed to pass through it. The objects are of three types. First, it is transparent object. Second, it is opaque object. And third, it is translucent object. Translucent. Transparent object. These objects are those which allow the light to pass through it. Entire light will pass through it or cross it. For example, this fiber is your transparent because it allows the light to pass through it and give the clear image of anything. Okay. Then the opaque object. It doesn't allow the light to pass through it. For example, my hand, this marker, even the board, we can't see across this. In case of the transparent object, we can see any object across this. But in case of opaque object, we are not able to see any object across this opaque object. Okay. Then its example is your glass, and its example you can take the wood. Then come to the translucent object. These are those objects which allow the light pass through it, but the quantity of light is partial, means not the entire light will pass or cross it. For example, this board, let me show you, this board is translucent because we can see the things across it, but the image is not very sharp. Why is it so? Because it allows the light to pass through it, but the amount of light is very little. So this type of object are called or comes under the translucent object. Okay. Now we today will focus on opaque object, as we are now our next topic which we are going to discuss is shadow. How the shadow forms. When any object come in the path of light, then it obstruct the light, and because of this, as it obstructs the light, at the second side of that opaque object there is total dark, and the dark is of the shape of that opaque object. That particular area or the black area is known as your shadow. Let's see one activity. There is, you can see this flower vase, and here you can even, it is very clear image which we are just getting. You can just see here you are getting the image. Why is it so? Because it obstructs the light coming from this is obstructed, and there is, you are getting the image or shadow of that flower vase. When it close or when it comes closer to the screen, then you can see the size of shadow reduce, but the sharpness of shadow increases. When there is a distance between this screen and the object, then what happened? The image or the shadow we are getting is going to be not, or it is going to be blurred slowly and gradually. But when it comes closer to the screen, it becomes very sharp. So we can see that the shadow depends upon the distance also. Now let's see, if there is an object, that object should be opaque object. Opaque object when it comes in path of light, or when we fall a light on an object which is opaque, then we get a shadow. Okay, clear? What the information shadow gives? Shadow gives the information about the shape of that object, because it casts the shadow of the same shape. So it gives the information of shape. But this may confuse you when you use it in different manners. For example, you make your fingers in different way and put it in path of light, then you can get the image of some or shadow of some animal. So it is just like fun. So the exact shape we can't determine and we cannot predict with the shadow. One thing, the second characteristic, but at some instant we get it. The second thing which is very important, that shadow is always black due to the lack of light. As there is lack of light means there is dark. So it is dark or black in color. Or we can say no colors, because what is the meaning of black? Lack of all color is the black. Then what are the conditions which is necessary for getting shadow? The first, it is there should be a light source. Okay. Then second, there should be an opaque object. And the third very important thing is that we will get the shadow only when we are having a screen. So to get shadow we need screen, on which we get it. If your screen is light in color, you will get a very fine image or very fine shadow. If your screen is dark in color, then this dark will be just, you can say, merged in that, and your shadow will not be that sharp as in case of light color screen. So screen color affect the sharpness of shadow. Okay, distance, the distance of object from screen, if it is more, then sharpness is reduced. So it is inversely proportional. Okay, it was all about how the shadow form, and don't confuse with the shadow and image. We will get explore the image in our next class, which we get by the reflection or refraction, but we will discuss it later. Now the next and very important point is that what is the very important characteristic of light? It is the light travels in straight line, means light follow the rectilinear path. How will show this? Rectilinear path, or always travels straight in a straight line. Straight line. Can you show this? If you are having a candle, it is your eyes, okay? Then you are having a tube like this, and in the first case you can observe the flame, but in second case, if you twist this tube, can you see this flame? Obviously not. Why? Because light travels in straight line. Okay. A very important, basic and simple use of this concept we use in the pinhole camera. Let's explore this pinhole camera, because it is very important to show that light travel in straight line, and we can use this concept to get a very sharp image with a high resolution. Let's see what is this pinhole camera. Pinhole camera. It is a very simple device which we can make at our home. You need a very small rectangular box. Then it should be total dark. You can put a dark paper here so that inside room is total dark. Then here you need to make a very small hole with the help of pin. So we call it pinhole. The hole should be very small. That is your aperture. With the help of pin, you made that aperture. And the phenomena which will take place here is your, because of aperture obscura or the camera obscura we call it. And then this screen we can, I am making it little short so that you can get a good image. This should be translucent to get image. Now what happened here? If you put candle here again, what happened? The ray will come here and then here. Now let's see what is actually occurring here. This is your aperture, that is a pinhole, and this is a translucent sheet where we are going to get image. It is your object. When you put your object here, there is a dark room, and the whole light will from this candle will come through this small aperture with a high intensity, and then as it follows the straight line, so you can just see this tree is like this and it goes in this, and finally we are getting this image which is inverted image. Means your candle will look like this. Its flame will be here, and you can see the flame, actually not the hole, the flame. As much as your object is having light or luminous, you will see that sharp image here. The thing which is very important here, we should notice that the size of aperture. The size of aperture should be very small, and as the size of aperture, it will cause a sharpness of the image. If size is very small, then the image will be very sharp. Then even this sharpness can be at the level of SLR cameras, because the intensity of light is very high, which is going through that small aperture. And nowadays we make this hole with the help of laser light, so that this aperture can be very small and we get the sharp image. Then the second thing, a very important, the screen and the object. First, the object. If you bring the object closer to the pinhole camera, then you will get the sharp image. And if you put it distant to that camera, then you will get a blur image. To get the sharp image, the distance should be less. Okay, so we can say the object stand between the aperture distance is inversely proportional to the sharpness. Okay, one more thing very important. Never confuse with this aperture with the lens, because there is lens, no refraction is taking place here, no bending of light is taking place here. It follows the concept of rectilinear path followed by light. Very important it is. And because about lens we will see in refraction topic, so please don't confuse with this. And a very important, what is the use of this pinhole camera? Pinhole cameras we can use to see the sun eclipse, because the sun we can't see directly, because it is harmful, as it radiates so many harmful rays, and at the time of eclipse it becomes so much harmful. So with the help of this pinhole cameras, the sun, and we are getting the image here, and from this side we can see the eclipse, the whole eclipse, without harming our eyes. So this pinhole camera is very useful to see the sun eclipse or the whole day sun movement, because it is not possible by us to see this directly. And the very important, as this pinhole camera is difficult to detect, so we use it in surveillance. So overall we can just see that this simple concept, and we are making a simple device which is pinhole camera, but we can use it in many aspects. Surveillance we can also use. So it was all about your light, introduction of light. This was just some basic concept, that how it travels and what are the different type of object and how the shadow cast. And in the next part we'll see the reflection. Hopefully it will help you to understand about the basics of optics. Thank you very much.